What's that story, dude, when you were growing some dope and the great raids of '83 up in Mullumbimby?
Yes, it's on. It's on the movie. There's a movie made up about it, about the '83 raids, helicopter raids. Well, we heard they were coming, and I'd grown. Most of us grow, so we can extend our properties, put more verandas in. So what we're doing is adding money to the town. If we grow a little bit of dope, we're not becoming millionaires, we're not becoming rich. We grow a little bit of dope and sell it and have money to spend on the house and ourselves. Maybe a better car, you know, or upgrade a car or something. But we're adding to the community of Mullumbimby, right? They ended up protesting. All the straights had a big protest night about the helicopters destroying their environment because they were only selling, the hardware guy said, I'm only selling 1 bag of cement a week. He said, I usually sell 50 or 60. He said, because of these raids, our town's going broke. Leave these hippies alone. They're good for our community. We need them. And that's the truth. But what happened was the day they turned up, right? They come up. I heard them. I heard the helicopters. I was at the very end. The very end. And I thought, I'm not going to let these bastards beat me. So what I did was I ran around and grabbed branches and broke them off trees and covered the plants with trees. Pulled some down and tied them and threw other bushes on them. I had 16 altogether that were 8, 10 foot high and budding, really good. And everybody else lost their plants and I didn't lose one. The helicopter hung around my house and my property for half an hour. They couldn't find a thing. They were 100 feet above me, no more. Just above the trees, which would have freaked all the animal life. They're a bunch of pricks. They dug up a fucking hole which they thought was a dope stash, and it was a dead dog, and they left it there. They didn't even put it back in the hole and rebury it. They just left the dead dog out on the ground. That's the sort of... And we're the fucking criminals, right? We're the criminals. And they do that.
Did anyone try and be uncool and mess with your plants, man?
Well, there was rumours going around that I was the only one that succeeded. It was a drought year. It would have been a drought year. So high profile mine become very... everybody wanted a piece of it, you know. I felt that I had to protect them. So I went down amongst them and made a camouflage tent. And the tent was there before the police come. And they didn't see it because they camouflaged it so good with all this vine and shit that was growing on the ground. It was about this high. So I pulled it all up and covered the tent. And lived in the tent. I'd go down to the tent at 11 o'clock at night, leave my wife or the woman I was living with, the de facto woman that I had a baby to. And I'd come down and sleep in the tent with my dog, Pal Marshall, that I had for 18 years. And we'd sleep and we'd fucking... There was so many mosquitoes, but I used to zip up the tent. But we'd listen for anybody that come, and I had an iron bar and I was ready to whack them, you know, because... Or protect myself and my plants, my property. Yeah, a guy come up the hill with a big shotgun. He was an old, not an old, a young, but he wasn't a hippie, he was a country bumpkin. And he said, I hear you telling people not to come up your property. And I said to him, and he didn't know, Clive, the other guy that was interviewed about the raids on the movie, me and him had a reputation of don't fuck with them guys, you know, for some reason. Anyway, he come up and he had his gun, he's going, what are you saying that for? And I said, mate, if you don't go, I'm going to grab that gun, stick it up your ass and pull the trigger. He didn't expect that coming at all. And I said, you better go now, I'm just about to come and get you. And he took off as fast as he could go. And he was about 6'4", 6'3". But he knew the look in my eyes, I was serious. You know, and I wasn't going to go through all that I've been through with helicopters and all the people and all the have some bloke come up and say to me, what are you talking about being boss of the property, you know? It's just my area. Nobody was to walk on it. That was my rule. So that's the way it stood. It's me, Johnny. I'm home.